record. Okay. Hopefully Siwan, Deshaun, Daisy join later. Yeah. Um, for those of you that like maybe didn't hear it, um, Miss Ben joined us today because we really, if you weren't here yesterday, our work, all of it, is due Friday. Okay. So her and I and Miss Perez had a meeting yesterday. Um, if if you want me to grade you online, like you want to do all your Freckle, IXL, and Edpuzzle, and you want me to grade that, then I will. You just have to tell me, text or post in Google Classroom like Sambriti did. Sambriti put in Google Classroom and said, grade my online work. And then I said, gotcha, Sambriti, so now I know what to grade. If you are going to do your packet to be graded, Miss Ben and Miss Perez and I agreed that you need to send me pictures of your packet. So I have proof that I can send to Miss Ben and Miss Perez and say, hey, when you go to my Google Classroom and you see that like Chantel didn't do this assignment or Reham didn't do that assignment or whatever, here are pictures. Reham was doing her packet or Demetrius was doing his packet, blah, blah, blah. So if you guys have my phone number, you can send pictures of your packet to my phone. If you remember my email, you can send pictures of your packet to my email. I don't know if you can post pictures on Google Classroom. If you can, go ahead. If not, you're going to have to send it in a text or an email. So Siwan, you haven't missed anything. Miss Ben was just here talking to us about how grades are everything's due Friday. So that way we can give you your grades on Monday. For those of you that might have missed it, her last 2 minutes, she said that she's going to work out an incentive, which means like a prize or like a gift. For those of you that do have all your work turned in on Friday, and Siwan, your name came up because Siwan, right now, you're the only one that has everything turned in. So as of now, whatever this prize or incentive Miss Ben has planned for you guys, Siwan's the only one that looks like he's going to be getting that incentive, guys. So, again, you have two options, online work or your packet. At this point, since it's due Friday, that's in 4 days, if the computer stuff's not working, guys, we have to give up on that. I can't focus on the computer work and then make you work as hard as humanly possible for 3 days for doing like 2 weeks of work last week and then this week. It's going to be too much for you guys. So I would go ahead and do your packet and then take pictures of it. So right now I know Sambriti wants me to grade her online work. Siwan, I'm going to grade his online work because it's all turned in. So if I don't get the online work from the other three, Chantel, Reham, Demetrius, then I want you to be doing your packet, okay? And then just send me pictures, so I have proof, like for your parents, for Miss Ben, Miss Perez. That way, we can give you a good grade for this quarter. This is quarter 3. I don't know if you guys know that. So that way we don't have to put in zeros, because if you get a 0 during a quarter, it can bring your overall grade down 2 grades. So like say you have an A and you get a 0 on all this work, you go down to a C. So like that's a big deal, okay? Siwan, what's your question?
When did we turn in our packet?
So when do you turn in your packets? So that's going to be Friday. So guys, if you are going to turn in your packet, Friday's the day to do it. The school might let you turn in your packet at the school. We might set up like a mailbox or something, but I think what they mostly want you guys to do is to take pictures. So like, I don't have the packet with me. This is just like my notes book, but like even if you have like page 1 of my packet, take a picture, boom, and then next page, take a picture, boom, next page, like that. If you guys are willing to do that, not willing, sorry, you guys will need to do that actually. Just send me pictures so I have proof. Even if it's wrong, that's okay. I would rather grade it and have a few of them wrong than give you a 0, if that makes sense. Um,
Okay.
so yeah.
Wait, so are you gonna grade our work?
So C1, so your situation actually helps bring up a point that I can talk to about with the other 4. Is so guys, C1's in an interesting spot because he did his whole packet and he's done all of his online work, Freckle, IXL, Edpuzzle. So what I'm gonna do for C1, and this is kind of like this is good for him, I'm gonna grade both and give him the better grade. So if his online work is good and then he gets like an 80, which is a B, and then I grade his packet and then he gets a 95, that's an A, I'm going to give him the 95A. Okay? So because he did both, I'll grade both and give him the better grade. So that's a lot of work. I don't think a lot of you are going to be able to do that at this point. If you want to, you are more than welcome to, but that's going to be a lot of work. So right now, C1, he gets to be in this interesting spot where he'll get the better grade of the 2. So that'll be fun. Yeah. C1, did that answer your question?
Yep. Thank
Cool.
you.
All right then. So guys, that's all I have. Or can you guys like give me a thumbs up emoji or put something in the chat box if you understand all of this? Demetrius is good. Reham, Chantel, good. Simbridi, you good? Okay, cool. All right, guys. Well, then I'm gonna go ahead and start our science. Um, we tend to do pretty good in science. I think it'll go by fast. Usually goes by faster than. Sorry, I'm doing the homework. Hey, that's fine, Sambriti. Nope, you're good. Sambriti, just make sure you try and pay attention to our science lesson because there's 5 of us, so I need all 5 of you to participate at least one time. Okay, at least once. All right, that's what I'm going to require. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we are going to start science. We today we are identifying the experimental question. Okay, so let's see what it wants us to do. All right, all right. Kelly applied a thin layer of wax to the underside of her snowboard. She rode the board straight down a hill. Then she removed the wax, rode the snowboard straight down the hill again. She repeated the rides 4 more times, alternating whether she rode down with a layer of wax on her board or not. Her friend, Trent, timed each ride. Kelly and Trent calculated the average time it took to slide straight down the hill on the snowboard with wax compared to the one without. Okay, that was a lot. Question: Identify the question that Kelly and Trent's experiment can best answer. So based on their experiment, based on what they're testing with this wax, and then the average time, one of these questions will be the best question for them to answer. So let's see which one. First one, does Kelly's snowboard slide down a hill in less time when it has a layer of wax or when it does not? Or does Kelly's snowboard slide down a hill in less time when it has a layer of wax or a thick layer of wax? Which one of these are they testing? C1.
I think it's the second one.
Okay, so the second one talks about a layer of wax, a thin layer of wax or a thick layer of wax. All right. Does anybody think it's the first one? Somebody thinks it's the first one. Okay. Does anybody else think it's the second one? No? Okay. So since it's a tie, I'm going to go ahead and help us out here. It is the first one because they are, based on this paragraph, testing whether they're going down this hill, their snowboard, with wax or no wax. Nowhere in here does it talk about the thickness or thinness of the wax, believe it or not. It only talks about wax or no wax. So it actually is the first one. Okay. So way to go, Sambriti. Nice. All right. Next one. Cindy poured 4 ounces of water into each of 6 glasses. Cindy dissolved 1 tablespoon of salt in each of the 3 and did not add salt to the other 3. Then Cindy placed an egg in 1 glass and observed if the egg floated. She removed the egg and dried it. She repeated this process with 5 other glasses, recording each time if the egg floated or not. She repeated this test with 2 more eggs and counted the number of times the eggs floated in the fresh water, the normal water, or the salty water. So, which question can she answer best? Are eggs more likely to float in fresh water or salt water? Or does the amount of water in the glass affect if they sink or float? Reham.
Are the eggs more likely to float in fresh water or salty water?
Yes. So, guys, Reham is correct. Nowhere in the passage does it talk about the amount of water.
Yes,
It
it
just
does.
says,
6 ounces of water.
yeah, it just says, well, it does say 4 ounces, sorry. But
Oh,
it does. They never increase the amount of water from 4 ounces. It just talks about the 4 ounces in 6 glasses. If it said one with 4 ounces and one with 8 ounces or 16 ounces, then it would be the second one. But it doesn't. It talks about fresh and salt water only. So yes, Reham, you are correct. Nice. All right. Next one. Natalie planted 25 tomato seeds 1/2 an inch below the soil in each of 6 plots. Natalie added an equal amount of fertilizer to 3 of those 6. She placed the pots in a plant growth chamber where all the seeds experience the same temperature, the same amount of light, and the same humidity level. After 2 weeks, Natalie counted the number of seeds that grew in each pot. She compared the number of seeds in the pots with the fertilizer to the seeds in the pots with no fertilizer. Let's see which question we can answer. All right. Do more tomato seedlings grow when they're planted in soil with fertilizer compared to soil with no fertilizer? Or does the humidity level where tomato seeds are planted affect the number? Which one did we talk about? Keep in mind, I have heard from Reham and C1, so I need to hear from Chantel, Demetrius, and Sambriti. I kind of heard from Sambriti, but I'd like to hear from one of you 3, please. Anybody? Who's that? Is that Sambriti? Sambriti, what's up?
I think it's the first one.
Yes, Chantel, sorry. It's always being recorded just so that way, Honest and Ayub and Deshaun Daisy aren't here. They can watch it on my YouTube channel so that way they can still get their classwork grade. So, yes. Okay. I hope that's okay. But so Sambriti said it's the first one. She is correct.
Wrong. What?
Nope, she's correct. Sambriti, you're actually really good at science. You should have a little more confidence because I feel like every time we do science, you do really well. But yeah, no, Natalie, she was testing fertilizer or no fertilizer. And if you look carefully, they experienced the same temperature, light, and humidity. So the humidity level isn't what she was testing because they all had the same. All right, so that is why it's the first one. Good job. All right, we're on the second phase. All right. So identify the question. Yeah, so I think this one's still pretty much the same. Okay, the students in a physics class, physics is just the science of why things do what they do, like the wind, or why is there gravity, and why does, just why things do what they do. In case you didn't know. In a physics class, the students inflated 30 identical balloons, all the same. The students placed half of the balloons in a freezer at 0 degrees, and then the other half at room temperature, just a nice 68 degrees. 3 hours later, the students measured the size of the balloons. They compared the size of the balloons at room temperature and then the freezers. So what question can we answer? Do balloons get smaller when they are kept in freezers or at room temperature? Or do balloons kept in freezers have more mass than balloons kept at room temperature? Ooh, this one's tricky, guys. This one's tricky, okay? Reham.
Do balloons get smaller when they are kept in freezers or at room temperature? It never said anything about mass.
Yes, there you go. Okay, so yes, guys, it is talking about do the balloons get smaller? If you remember, they are all the same exact size. Okay, that's what it said in the very first sentence. Okay, the same exact size. All right, 3 hours later, they measured the sizes of the balloon. Okay, if you guys don't know, the word mass is weight. So, like, mass is the scientific word of saying how much does something weigh. So, I could say the mass of my phone is 2 pounds, or you could say my phone weighs 2 pounds. But that's what mass means. So, they are not measuring how much these balloons weigh, they were measuring how big or small they got. So, yes, Sambriti is correct. All right, nice. Right, next one. And Chantal and Demetrius, I want one of you to answer this one, okay? Diana cut tomato and broccoli plant leaves into 1-inch squares. In each of 12 containers, she placed 6 leaf squares, 3 tomato, 3 broccoli. She put 1 slug from her garden into each container. After 2 days, Diana measured the amount of each leaf square that had been eaten by the slugs. She compared the amount that had been eaten from the tomato leaf pile and then the broccoli leaf pile. Okay? Identify the question. Do slugs weigh more after eating tomato broccoli leaves, or do slugs eat more from tomato or broccoli leaves?
Mr.
Right?
You.
Did I hear someone?
Yeah.
C1, are you okay?
Yeah, but wasn't we have the one who answered the last question?
Yes, yeah, no, she did.
Where's
She,
somebody?
huh?
What?
You said my name, not Reham.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, you did.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
It's fine. I'm forgetful.
No. I don't know. I swore I said Reham.
No, you didn't.
Okay. Well, Sambriti, I want Demetrius to answer this just because I haven't heard from him, but
Can
I
I
will let.
answer it?
Who?
Can I answer it?
No, Demetrius raised his hand, so I'm gonna let him do it.
Oh, he did?
He did.
Oh.
Demetrius, what do you think?
The bottom?
Yes. Yes, they measured if the slugs eat more from tomato or broccoli. They said nothing about how much the slug weighs. Okay, so good job. All right. Chantel, this one will be for you, but if you don't feel comfortable, I'm giving this to Sembridi since I hurt her feelings and I feel very bad. Okay, Jason made 6 batches of muffins over the course of one day. He used whole wheat flour in 3 batches and white flour in the other 3. He divided the batter into muffin tins using 2 ounces of batter per muffin. He baked them at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. After allowing the muffins to cool, he measured the dimensions, which is just the size, length, width, height of the muffin, and calculated the volume. He compared the volume of the muffins made with whole wheat and then the ones with white flour. So guys, this one's trying to trick you out, just so you know, by giving you a bunch of numbers, okay? Don't let all those numbers freak you out. Okay, question 1. Do muffins made with white flour have larger volumes than muffins made with whole wheat? Or does the type of flour used in the muffins affect the number of muffins that turn brown after 30 minutes? Chantel.
I think is the second one.
Okay, so the second one talks about the muffins turning brown after 30 minutes. Does anybody think it's the first one? Simbridi, what do you think?
I think it's the first one.
Simbridi, why do you think it's the first one?
Because, well, I totally forgot the whole story, but
You got
wait,
this.
read it again.
Yeah, do you want me to read the story or the question?
The story again. I forget things a lot.
It's okay. So, I'm gonna try and read it like in a shorter way, but yeah, Jason made 6 batches of muffins. He used whole wheat flour in 3 of them, and then white flour in the other 3. He divided the batter into tins using 2 ounces of batter. He baked the muffins at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. He let the muffins cool down. Then he measured the volume of the muffins. And then he compared the volume of the wheat ones and then the white flour ones.
I think it's the first one because it talks about the different flour and stuff, and it talks about volume.
Yes. So Sambriti is correct. Nowhere in the passage does it actually talk about the muffins turning brown.
I my answer, but then I don't know why I choose it sometimes.
Hey, no, that's good. That means your gut knows the right answer, even if your brain like doubts it. So sometimes following your gut is the best thing to do anyways. But yeah, so guys, it is the first one. And even if we do look at the second one and we take out the turn brown part, this one talks about 30 minutes when the story talks about 20. So those don't match. So it can't be that one. All right. So it is the first one. Good job. Excuse me. All right. We are on this last one. Whoa. Our question. Oh, it gives us 3 questions this time. So trying to trick us up, I think. All right. Here we go. Miranda had 12 soccer balls of equal size, all inflated to a pressure of 10 pounds per square inch. For those of you that don't know, when you're pumping air into like a football or a soccer ball, the pressure actually equals pounds. So like if a basketball is like kind of flat and it doesn't bounce very well, it doesn't weigh as much. But if you pump it with air and make it a nice firm basketball that bounces and dribbles and is perfect, then it actually weighs more. Fun fact. So she had 12 soccer balls. She pumped them all to the exact same weight with air. Okay. She deflated 6 of them to a pressure of 5 pounds per square inch. She used a ball launcher to launch each soccer ball at a 30-degree angle. So like this is 0 degrees, a flat. So 30 is like up here. So she kind of just shot them diagonally up into the air. Okay. And then she alternated. So she would shoot the deflated one and then the inflated, deflated, inflated. All right. She measured the distance between the ball launcher and the location where the ball hit the ground. So she's measuring how far they went. Okay. So out of these 3 questions, first one, do soccer balls that have a pressure of 10 pounds per square inch travel farther when launched than soccer balls with pressure of 5 pounds per square inch? Do soccer balls travel farther when they are launched at a 30-degree angle or a 60-degree angle? Are balls easier for people to catch when the balls have a pressure of 10 pounds or 5 pounds per square inch? Right? Only one of these do they talk about. Chantel, is your hand still up? Do you want to try this one? Maybe, maybe not. Chantel, if you want to try it, you totally can. If not, just put your hand down and I'll call on someone else.
I'll try.
Sure, go ahead. And Chantel, if you don't know which one it is, you can help us eliminate one too. You can help us know which one it's not too. So let me know which one let me know what you want to do. If you want me to cancel one of them out, or if you think you know which one it is.
I think it's the ones that to eliminate is the last one.
Yes, yeah. So nowhere in our story does it talk about catching the ball. So you're right. Yep, we're not doing that one. Good job. Okay. Chantel, do you want to keep going or do you want me to give to someone else?
Can I keep going?
Okay, go ahead. So Chantel, you can either tell me which one to eliminate or tell me which one it is. All right. Oh, and I can move back up if you want to read the story.
Yeah, that'll be helpful.
Yeah, sorry. My bad. Let me erase that. So, there you go. So there's the story, and then these are the 2 we're left between.
I
Okay.
think you should eliminate the first one.
Okay. So, so then you think it's the second one? They're talking about 30 degrees and 60 degrees?
Okay. They were talking about the pounds. So I'm still thinking. I don't.
That's okay. Just read it carefully. See if you see them talking about 30 degrees and 60 degrees. Because if you don't see 30 degrees and 60 degrees, then it can't be the second one. But
I only see 30 degrees. I read it.
yeah. So if there is no 60 degrees,
That
then
means
it definitely can't be the second one.
it's the first one then.
Which means it is the first one, yeah. So this one can be a little tricky because it talks about pounds per square inch, which is like super new, and not everyone in the world knows that when you pump a basketball or a soccer ball with air, it actually weighs more. So that's like something new we learned today. But yeah, it does talk about the pressure of pounds per square inch. It's easy to overlook that because it's a lot of words, at least a lot of new words together. But yeah, good job, Chantel. You did that pretty good. Nice. All right, guys, let's go to the next one. Evan, Good job. Evan set up 6 tanks with equal volumes of water at 20 degrees Celsius. For those of you that don't know, we here in America measure everything in Fahrenheit. So to us, that's normal. Like if you go outside and you say, oh, it's like 68 degrees out, that's Fahrenheit. Celsius, completely different, just so you know. So Celsius is like the number's smaller, but you have to add like 50 degrees to it to make it Fahrenheit. So 20 degrees Celsius is not cold at all. 20 degrees Fahrenheit, like if we went outside and someone was like, oh, it's 20 degrees outside, then it'd be cold. But in like England, if you say, oh, it's 20 degrees out, they do Celsius. So that means it's actually 70 degrees outside. So it's it's like a nice day. Okay. So I just wanted you guys to know that. They filled the volumes with 20 degrees Celsius water. Okay. So it's like warm water. Okay. 3 of these tanks contained water with high salt content, so salt water, of 30 parts per thousand, and 3 contained water with no salt. All right. And then this 30 parts per thousand, don't freak out about that. That's just basically saying it's like 30% salt, so 70% water. Okay. So Evan added an equal amount of green algae to each tank. Algae. It's like a plant bacteria, just so you know. He allowed the algae to grow in the tanks for 2 weeks. Then he measured the amount of algae in each tank. Okay, so think of algae as like a really, 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 really tiny plant, and then it grows. So like if you've ever seen like grass growing on a building or grass growing on a rock, that is like a really tiny plant that's called algae, and it grows on things that aren't alive, like wood or rocks or houses sometimes. Okay, because it's a bacteria, so it's not like bad for your health. I mean, don't eat it, but anyways, I'll stop talking. So we're trying to figure out which question we can answer. Do algae grown in water with high salt content release more oxygen than water with no salt? Is the growth of algae affected by the temperature of the water? Or do algae grow more in water with high salt content than water without? Okay, let's see. I haven't heard from Siwan in a while, so Siwan, what's up? Which one do you think it is or is not?
I think it's the first one.
You said you don't think it's the first one?
No, I think it's the first one.
You do think it's the first one. Okay. I'm gonna keyword here is oxygen. Okay. Does our story actually talk about oxygen, guys?
Don't think so.
It does not. So we know it cannot be the first one actually. Okay. So we know it's not that one. All right. C1, do you want to keep going or do you want me to give it to someone else?
You could go to somebody else.
Okay. All right. What about you, Reham? What do you think? Is she typing? Me. Somebody wait your turn. Reham, what do you think? Maybe? Reham? Nani? Okay, I'm going to give it to Sambriti. Sambriti, what do you think?
I think it's the last one.
She is correct. Yes, guys, our story is very simple. It wants to know, does it grow in salt water better or water with no salt? Okay. It doesn't talk about the temperature changing. It only gives us one temperature, so it doesn't change. And then this first one tried to throw us off by like making it look very long and smart, but it never once talked about oxygen. Okay. So the longest answer, guys, is not always the right answer. I know sometimes the longest answer looks like it can be right because it's like, oh, there's so much information, or they're talking about so much, it has to be right. That's not always true. So yeah, Sambriti, you got that one. Good job.
No one gets that one.
What happened?
I just guessed because I didn't hear the story. I want to use the restroom.
Oh, you're fine. You're totally fine. No worries. Okay. Well then, let's keep going. Okay. I think we got two more, guys, and then we're done for today. Rock candy is a treat made by allowing sugar crystals to form on sticks. Julie began making rock candy by adding 1 cup of hot water to each of 8 glass jars. She dissolved equal amounts of white sugar in half of the jars and brown sugar in the other half. Julie hung one identical wooden stick from the top of each jar, making sure that 2 inches of each stick was submerged, so it was in the sugar solution. Julie left the jars in a cupboard or like your cabinet for 1 week, allowing the rock candy to form on the sticks. Then she measured the size of the rock candy on each stick. Okay, so let's see what we can answer. Does the type of sugar used to make rock candy affect the candy, whether the candy forms after 3 days? Does the amount of sugar in the sugar solution affect the size of rock candy? Or does the rock candy grow larger when it is made with white sugar or brown sugar? Dun dun dun. This one's tough, right? Some key things in our story. She made her rock candy with 1 cup of hot water in 8 glass jars. She dissolved an equal amount of white sugar in half and then brown sugar in the other. So it's literally just hot water and white sugar, and then the other one is hot water and brown sugar. Okay. Um, they both had the same amount of a wooden stick in them for the candy to grow on. And then she left it in the cabinet for a whole week. And then she wanted to measure the size of it. She wanted to measure the size of the rock candy. Okay. So what do we think it is? Sambriti, do you want to tell us what it is or what it is not?
I want to tell what it is.
Okay.
I can't say it actually is, but I think it is.
Sure.
It's the last one. I'm
Yes.
wrong.
Nope,
Wait.
you're correct. I told you, Sambriti, you're really good at science. I think science is one of your best subjects.
It's just
Yeah.
that when you read it, I don't listen, but then I read it myself after.
Hey, that's okay. I mean, not everyone learns from people like talking. Some people learn better when they do it themselves. Some people learn better with pictures. Some people learn better with, hearing. That's totally fine. But yeah, no, she's correct because the first one talks about 3 days, and Homegirl did it for a whole week. So we know that one's wrong. Okay, unless if it said 7 days, it might have been that one. And then the second one talks about the amount of sugar. But if you see, she dissolved an equal amount of sugar in both. So the amount of sugar doesn't matter because they're both equal. So yeah, it would be the last one. Good job. Brilliant. All right, and we're on the last one, guys. Here we go. Nick asked 10 of his classmates to jump as far as they could 2 times. Each person took 1 jump from a still position, so you're just standing and then jumping. And then 1 after a 15-foot run, which if you've ever tried, if you like run and then jump, you can usually jump farther. So his classmates waited 5 minutes between their jumps and then alternated whether they first jumped from a still position or from a running start. Nick measured the distance of each jump. So, can people jump more times in a row when they jump from a 15-foot running start compared when they jump from a still position? Can people jump farther when they jump from a 5-foot running start compared to a 15-foot running start? Or can people jump farther when they jump from 15-foot running compared to when they jump from a still position? Ooh, this one's tricky, guys. Make sure you pay attention to how it's worded, okay? Make sure you pay attention to how it is worded, okay? C1, do you want to maybe tell us what it is or is not?
Both.
Both? Okay. Which one? So then which one is it not?
The middle.
You're right. It's not the middle one, guys. Nowhere does it talk about a 5-foot running and a 15-foot running. It only talks about 15-foot running. Okay? So he's right. It's not that one. Okay? So it's either this one, how many more times in a row can they jump, or how much farther can they jump? So C1, do you want to keep going?
The third
You said
one.
what?
The third one.
The third one. Yes. Guys, C1 is correct. So this first one about people jumping in a row, it doesn't talk about them jumping in a row. It does talk about them jumping far, and it talks about them 2 times, but in a row, that would definitely be more than 2 times for each. So he only did 2 times because one was standing jump and the other one was a running jump. But if it was like a standing jump 5 times in a row or a running jump 5 times in a row, then it'd be that first one. But yep, he is right. It is the last one. Boom, look at us, guys. We killed it. Awesome. We did good today. So I'm going to stop sharing. Then I'm going to stop recording.